This week we're going to highlight the latest crop condition updates from the USDA, which saw soybean conditions improve. We're also going to take a look at the latest short-term weather trends as we approach the critical pod fill period during August. We're going to wrap things up with a long-term review of November soybean futures. Hi, this is Brian Bastine with Advanced Trading. Let's take a look at the soybean market. We've moved into the last few days in July here, and a critical weather period is approaching. That's the pod fill period in August. Let's take a look at the latest crop condition updates from the USDA. Now, the soybean crop conditions, we saw a nice improvement nationwide this week, up from 68% good to excellent to 70%. Notice last year at this time we were at 67%. Improvements were pretty universal in areas west of the Mississippi. The only exception was a slight decline in Minnesota. And we also saw some improvement in parts of the eastern Corn Belt in Indiana and Ohio. Let's take a look now at the aggregate crop condition index for beans, that blue line. It's at a season high now as we move into the last few days in July. In fact, over the last 7 or 8 years here, the only year where crop conditions for beans have been better than this year was in 2020. Let's take a look at the soybean setting pods now. Critical period as we approach August. Over the next 2 weeks, from July 27th to August 10th, typically on average, soybean setting pods increase approximately 30%. So if we're looking at that second week in August, about 70% of U.S. beans will be setting pods. Of course, that's a critical time for yield determination for beans. Let's take a look at the short-term weather trends. Our slides this week, as usual, are courtesy of T-Storm Weather. We're looking at a much welcome change here in the temperature pattern this week. For 5 consecutive days all across that light blue area, we're going to see cooler than normal temperatures. It's going to kick in from northwest to southeast around Tuesday to Wednesday through Thursday. But we're looking at readings dropping all the way into the 70s and 80s across that blue area and nighttime lows in the 50s and 60s. What about rainfall? Rainfall here through Wednesday, July 30th this week could be quite heavy across that green area there. Looking at possibility of 1 to 2 inches across that area. What about later this week, through Thursday through Monday? All across that light green area, if you will, here, we're looking at minor rainfall amounts with the cooler temperatures to the north. Let's now take a look at accumulated precipitation over the next 2 weeks. Now, the next 2 weeks here, we're looking at pretty good rainfall patterns for most areas. All those light yellow areas are normal precip over the next 2 weeks. The light green is slightly wet, and the reddish area is slightly dry. So the vast majority of beans across the country are going to be seeing rainfall at normal to above normal levels the next 2 weeks. Let's shift gears now and wrap things up this week looking at trends in November bean futures. Now, November beans, as we tape here on Tuesday, are trading near $10.05 a bushel. Notice though, from that end of July all the way into harvest in October, historically, there's still a potential for quite a bit of price volatility, both to the upside and to the downside. That's why we continue to strongly encourage you to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to manage price movement. Now, if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with our risk management consultants who'll be happy to visit with you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an update. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.